Most people know the story of Cain, arguably the world's first murderer, at least according to the Bible. He's the character who, driven by jealousy and resentment towards his younger brother Abel, lures him out into the fields and strikes him dead. But here's the twist. This isn't just about a single act of violence. It's about the implications that followed, ones that have fueled centuries of speculation and theories. With Abel dead, the Bible paints a picture of a world reduced to only 3 people: Cain, his father Adam, and his mother Eve. The narrative is clear. Cain is the murderer. There's no room for doubt. But the twist doesn't end there. God, far more active in these parts of the story, knows exactly what happened. He condemns Cain to a life of eternal wandering. Now, eternal wandering? That's a concept that's both fascinating and haunting. Imagine being cursed to roam the earth forever, and not just anyone, but someone who's already shown themselves capable of murder. This idea of immortality or endless punishment raises a host of questions, doesn't it? Could Cain still be out there, wandering? Could he even still be alive today? Let's dive deeper. The account in Genesis gives us the core of Cain's punishment. God finds Abel's body, accuses Cain of the crime, and tells him, "Now you are under a curse, driven from the ground which opened its mouth to receive your brother's blood from your hand. When you work the ground, it will no longer yield its crops for you. You will be a restless wanderer on the earth." But here's where it gets interesting. Cain, terrified, responds. He laments that this punishment is more than he can bear. He's not only being driven from his home, but he's also vulnerable to anyone who might kill him on sight. Imagine that, after murdering your brother, the world's dangerous eyes turn on you. God, in response, places a mark on Cain, ensuring that no one will dare to kill him. But there's a catch. This mark doesn't stop time. Cain's immortality isn't guaranteed. He's not immune to hunger, thirst, disease, or even old age. So, what happened to him next? Let's explore the possibilities. Cain's wandering seems to take him to a place called the land of Nod, east of Eden. It's here, in this obscure land, that we find a surprising twist. Cain finds a wife, has a son named Enoch, and even builds a city, also named Enoch. And with that, scholars suggest, Cain's wandering might have come to an end. Settling down with a family and building a city sounds pretty final, right? But there's a crucial point. While Cain could no longer be killed by any human, there was no promise of eternal youth. He aged, and like all of us, he too succumbed to the passage of time. So, did Cain live out his days in relative obscurity? Did he die of natural causes, or perhaps something else entirely? Let's take this further. Some believe that after so much time passed since Abel's murder, Cain could have repented. Maybe, just maybe, God lifted the curse, allowing Cain to settle peacefully and live out his days like any other man. This theory suggests that the curse and the mark were removed, freeing him from immortality. However, there's a bigger argument at play: the Great Flood. The flood, as told in Genesis, wiped out everyone deemed wicked. Only Noah and his family survived, along with the animals on the ark. But what about Cain? The Bible never mentions whether Cain perished in the flood, but given the flood's purpose, it's hard to believe he escaped it, right? But there's always another side to the coin. Some believe Cain never died. The theory goes that because the Bible never explicitly says he was killed, perhaps he lived on. Some claim he survived the flood, protected by the mark, and wandered into a new world. In this world, fewer people would remember him, and he could keep moving, blending into the shadows of history. One of the more imaginative theories claims that Cain could still be wandering today. Picture this: a drifter, cursed to never find rest. A man forever unable to settle down, cursed to live a life of hardship, begging, unable to acquire food or wealth. It's almost poetic, isn't it? This interpretation would align with the curse that the earth would refuse to yield crops for him, leaving him to roam the world in a constant search for survival. But wait, there's another theory that flips this narrative entirely. What if Cain isn't a wanderer at all? What if he's one of the elite, the secret rulers of the world. Consider this: thousands of years of experience, mastering human psychology, warfare, and even ancient dark arts. With such a long life, Cain could have learned to manipulate the world from the shadows, becoming a figure so powerful that he influences society from behind the scenes. Could he be one of the world's hidden elites, pulling the strings of history without us even knowing? And then we have the wildest theory yet. Cain is, in fact, the infamous Sasquatch or Bigfoot. Some believe that after wandering the earth for so long, Cain retreated into the wilderness, isolated from humanity, living in caves and forests, far away from prying eyes. In the book of Jasher, a 17th century Hebrew text, another twist emerges. Here, Cain meets his end, not by murder, but by accident. The biblical figure Lamech, who was blind, goes hunting with his son. Mistakenly, Lamech shoots Cain in the heart, ending his life once and for all. So, what do you think? Did Cain's curse of eternal wandering truly mean he could never die? Or was it a fate more tragic, one where his punishment was not immortality, but a life of endless isolation and struggle? The truth, like so many biblical mysteries, remains shrouded in uncertainty. But the theories, the legends, and the questions they raise, those will continue to haunt us forever. So, what do you think? Did Cain's curse of eternal wandering truly mean he could never die? Or was it a fate more tragic, one where his punishment was not immortality, but a life of endless isolation and struggle? The truth, like so many biblical mysteries, remains shrouded in uncertainty. But the theories, the legends, and the questions they raise, those will continue to haunt us forever. And here's where things get even more intriguing. It's important to note that Cain does, in fact, die from the wound, suggesting that the mark wasn't about making him invulnerable to death. No, the mark may have been more of a powerful warning to anyone who saw him. Don't kill this man. Why? Because God had already declared that anyone who took Cain's life would face vengeance 7 times over. It's easy to imagine that when people saw Cain wandering, they'd likely keep their distance, unsure of what consequences might befall them if they dared to harm him. But here's where it gets even more fascinating. An ancient Jewish text, the Book of Jubilees, offers a different spin on Cain's end. According to this apocryphal narrative, Cain meets his fate in a rather poetic way. His house collapses on top of him. This wasn't just any accident, though. The text tells us that Cain's death was, in a sense, divine karma. He had killed Abel with a rock, and in turn, he himself is slain by a stone. We're told, for with a stone he had killed Abel, and by a stone was he killed in righteous judgment. The concept of Cain still wandering the earth? Well, that idea remains one of the most captivating theological discussions to this day. Whether you lean towards believing he was put to rest or think he's still out there today, the mystery surrounding Cain's life and death invites deep reflection on themes of sin, punishment, and divine justice. Scripture leaves us with a tantalizing uncertainty. We're never explicitly told how Cain met his end. His fate is left to interpretation, fueling both the imagination and theological debate for generations. Was he truly cursed to wander forever, or was his wandering a metaphor for a deeper punishment? And if he did die, how? Did God's punishment end with death, or did it go on beyond Genesis? So, what do you think? Has Cain been put to rest in the pages of Genesis, or is he still out there, somewhere in the shadows, wandering through time? We may never know for sure. But the theories, oh, they're endlessly fascinating. As always, guys, if you've enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and make sure to subscribe for more content like this. I'd love to hear your thoughts on Cain's fate. Drop a comment below, and let's dive into this mystery together. A fitting end, don't you think?